So this is Toolbox Talk number 8 and it concerns skin protection. So the aim of this Toolbox Talk is to remind and revise you about the hazards surrounding your skin in the construction industry. So occupational dermatitis is a really common ailment amongst people who work in the construction industry. It comes from all sorts of different sources and substances, for example, concrete, pitch, cement, tar, paint, varnish, and then obviously all of the substances that we use on a day-to-day basis all has the potential to damage our skin and then further damage into our internal organs, etc. So what should you do first of all? Consult the RAMS. If you look at the RAMS again on section 1, you'll see all of the substances that we use, and you will also see a list of all the mandatory PPE that you should be wearing. And again, from the RAMS then, go and look at the COSH assessment, and again it will reiterate and it will give you specific measures to take in order to reduce any hazards and risks surrounding the substances that you're using, and as well as that, the material safety data sheets which are produced by the manufacturers of the substances will give you further in-depth information into that. So again, using the correct PPE, using the correct methods, you shouldn't really, in theory, come under that much contact. However, if you do, particularly if you have rashes coming up, and again the hands and the forearms are the most common places to get skin issues, because that's the bits of the body that tend to come into contact with these substances, but it's not to say that they can't come up somewhere else. But again, if you have rashes, if you have warts, any inflammation or discoloration of the skin, etc., then first thing you need to do is go and see your doctor, your GP, get advice off them, and also come and speak to the supervisor and line manager and let them know. Things such as if you get cuts on your hands, again, first thing you want to be doing is getting yourself away from the substances. Give your hands a good clean and then get them dried off and get a clean dressing on them. You don't want to be getting substances into open wounds, etc. An option may well be to use some barrier cream before you put gloves on, and again, when you're using gloves, make sure you're using the correct gloves for the task. So again, if we're using hazardous substances, you want to be using chemical resistant gloves, etc. Again, when washing hands, try not to use abrasive solvents. They will sort of wear away at the skin. And don't, if your clothing becomes contaminated, then don't be using that. Get the clothing off, get it changed, wash the area underneath the clothing. If the clothing is really heavily contaminated, then there might be no option but to bin that and get some more clothing, etc. If you're subject to allergic reactions, again, consult the COSH assessment. If the substance is liable to cause you irritation, it will say. If that's the case, then you need to go and speak to your supervisor and line manager and let them know that. So that's the end of that Toolbox Talks. If you have any questions, refer them to your supervisor, line manager, or myself. We will endeavour to answer them. Now that you have received the Toolbox Talk, make sure you sign off on the relevant documentation and forward it on to through the management.